So I was doing a recording for a match analysis that I wanted to do for the channel, but halfway through it, I was doing this for a good 45 minutes. My computer just randomly decided to crash. Now, that didn't change anything as far as the notes that I had written down for that analysis because I wanted to do this to kind of break down my thought pattern and kind of slow down the game and mostly for training purposes. And I was just gonna put it up on YouTube just so I have more content and just so it can give me a reason to start doing this. What I had already what I had previously recorded was I had went through all three of these matches that I have on my channel. You can't see them because I put them on private. I uploaded them from my PS4. I went through all three of them, and I was working my way through the first match and breaking down key moments and key decisions that I was making. I wrote them down on a Word document on things I need to do and things that I need to do differently. But I'm just gonna go ahead and continue from there. I don't want to have to go back and backtrack and do everything again. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue from there and kind of show you guys what I was working on before I got kind of wasted. But I am working on looking at the Barog matchup with a player that I play online. These are some of the things that I noticed in that first matchup that I kind of the first match that I kind of wrote down. They were, I wanted to check frame advantage of the target punch V skill. The corner throw situation, I wanted to try working on the delay up forward tech. EX dash rate, I noticed that when I walked back after that, he was trying to sweep me. I was able to get out of the situation, but I didn't know if I was still able to whiff punish, so I want to test the whiff punishing on that. And then the crush kind of stand hard punch V skill, I want to test the frame advantage on that. And EX dash straight V skill, I want to make sure that I'm checking those dashes. When not the dashes, the V skill cancel. And so also some things that I noticed were with punishing. I wrote down some things for with punishing opportunities. I wrote some things for as far as me wasting meter. I wrote down some things about challenging, like button challenges. I worked on some things about not command, making better stun situations, making better decisions in high stun situations, and I kind of wrote this stuff down. This was I was debating on whether this was a bar or specific tech, but it's kind of universal in that most characters kind of do have pseudo throw loops in the corner and doing like delay up forward stuff. I also wrote down knowing when to check dashes because in the first match, in the very first situation, I was in the close range. My opponent dashed forward and I tried to hit crouching jab and I got counter hit and that kind of started this momentum. So and also wasting of meter. I noticed there was some times when I got whiff punishes and I went into EX kunai instead of going to uppercut, and I could have saved that meter. And also when I got a counter hit convert, I didn't convert into the combo. I ended up using like EX meter can kind of continue pressure when I should have converted in that combo, which would have gotten me either stun or close to stun. So that was that's kind of the gist of everything that I was working on so far. So I'm gonna kind of speed back up to where I was at, and we're gonna continue from there. So I think I was right here, and this is what I was talking about earlier that I had wrote down, making use of meter. I wasted resources when I didn't need to waste resources, and I could have just the reason why I that counter hit worked was because I was expecting him to throw, but he ended up delaying his button, and so I delayed my stand medium punch in order to catch a as a throw bait, and it counter hit him. Instead of me going in the stand medium punch, crouching medium punch, and uppercut, I went to stand medium punch, crouching medium punch, and the EX kunai into target combo. The damage, as far as I can tell, isn't really worth it. I'm gonna have to like check the damage out myself and see how it's probably minuscule in comparison to just saving that resource and to be able to use that for bigger damage later on down the line. And so that was a problem that I saw. Even though it was a good convert, even though it was a good clean hit, I messed up on the convert. So here's the other situation I was talking about when I did the delay stand medium kick. I did stand light kick, and I did stand medium kick, counter hit him. and I did stand light kick, and I instantly go into EX kunai. I should have went into uppercut because it probably would have stunned him, but I should have converted the combo, and so that was a bad decision by my part, and definitely something that I need to rectify later on in the future. Okay, so situations like that, um, I'm not sure how plus Balrog is off of crouching medium kick and how much frame advantage that provides, and if that allows me the V reversal. I could I need to test for the V reversal. I know in certain cases, in situations like when characters do that, like when they activate and pop activate like that, typically they go for throw, and I've cognitive a situation like that, and I've made it known that yeah, I this is when characters like to throw, and so sometimes I do delay up back to get out of the situations. I do like a slight weight hold down forward and I do up back, but that time I didn't do it. Hold on, I don't know why I didn't do it. Let me check my input for reasons. Nope. Yep, I just held down back. I was just content with taking a throw. I guess that is good in a sense, but this character does have V trigger, and that's kind of scary. So I kind of throw out Fuma Shuriken because I was expecting a possible. He doesn't go for the low here because in the earlier set, I mean they're not in here. I punish with uppercut. I guess showing that is no, no. Showing that is a deterrent for people doing that. But there's also a better punish that I can use in V Trigger 2 to punish them for that. But I throw out the Fuma Shuriken to kind of because I was expecting him to dash straight, and so I back dash into Fuma Shuriken. I guess I probably could have made a better use of that Fuma Shuriken instead of just trying to throw it out there, but I do get some mileage out of it because I'm able to do the hard kick command dash into like the kunai. So I guess it's kind of not lost, but it is. But um, um, I'm not too sure about that usage, so I'll give that usage questionable at best. I mean, it's questionable, but it is. I don't know. Maybe it could be justified as being a good use, but in my eyes, it's 50-50. I don't think it's a good decision, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad decision, and it kind of does feel like maybe it is a waste of Fuma Shuriken, but I do kind of control the situation, and so I guess it is a win for me. I guess so. We'll count that as I guess as a pretty good usage. Again, oh, I said this earlier, but since I got deleted, but when I typically see people walk back, I go into command dash to continue pressure because I know they're not expecting something like that because they're holding back, and so um um I do go into command dash to try to continue the pressure, and I'm able to, but I don't necessarily know if that was actually the best decision because I'm here, and if he checks that um into stand light kick and the stand light punch, I mean, if he counter hits me, look at this, dut 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 into a guess, because he has V trigger one. I even though I did it at a even though I did it at I guess a pretty good time, I could have died. I mean, normal things like that, like your habits like that could have killed me with someone else. That definitely is a no-no. So whenever I'm doing my normal options, make sure to accept this. That is a aggression level. Uh, it was very aggressive for me to do something like that. Uh, trigger. Kind of don't play passive, but kind of tone down the aggression. Like that is a that is a mistake that could have killed someone, and I could have died. And I just reset neutral after that, and so I get the hint and I just go back to neutral. In a sense, I don't think I should be backdashing here because he can just EX dash straight and catch the backdash. I should just be holding my ground. And okay, so this is the ending of the So I'm a little bit too movement happy there. He does, unfortunately for me, he doesn't use like an EX dash straight into not EX dash straight, EX dash low or straight to punish some of the stuff that I was doing there. I do get a good read on when he does the dash straight with the neutral jump to punish. That was a good thing, but everything leading up to it, I mean, the jump backs are fine because I can still block, but it's just the back dashing in that situation, the spacing that I was at. I was trying to reset spacing, but in that situation, I think EX dash straight. I think I wrote this down for Barog. EX dash straight low. V skill. Yeah, it's basically full screen. So there was no reason for me to like backdash in situations like that. I could have just to try to reset the neutral. I should have just walked back, held walked back a little, maybe walked in a little bit, but just kind of built like a little wall when you have a lead like that. The jump backs are fine, but the backdashing wasn't fine. That was not fine because I still toning down on because I think that's kind of an aggressive move to kind of because you're trying to actively get out of a range when you have a life lead, especially against characters that can not dash have fast EX moves.
Final round. Fight.
See, once again, right there, I made the correct decision in the whiff punishing, and so I do whiff punish. I'm sorry, I just wanted to check and make sure my mic was on, but okay, so it is on. But I made the quick decision with the whiff punish, but I spent, especially at the early round part, I spent unnecessary meter and to do EX kunai into hierarchy command dash to get a set play that pushes me further away. I think if I would have did uppercut into crouching medium punch and uppercut from that distance, I still would have gotten this. I mean, this spacing was still would have been there, but I wouldn't have used the resources. I wouldn't use the kunai or EX meter because I would still had two. I would have still had 2 meters. I would have had 2 meters. Probably one if I would have caught a situation where I could uppercut it out of, I probably could have did that, or I probably could use that for max damage later or reset. Okay, so that's a Street Fighter 5 situation. When I'm in this up close range, earlier when I first did this, like when I first when the first round start match happened, I'm gonna show you guys this. I'm gonna go back really quickly. This situation happens, right? And so I get counter hit because I tried to do crouching light punch because I'm trying to react to the dash in that situation. That is almost impossible to react to in Street Fighter Five, in that up close range, and so I need to train myself not to do that. Let's go back to that. Okay, so this time, exact same situation. What do I do now? I try to tech. You can see right there my inputs. I try to tech. I shouldn't have teched there. I should just take the throw. And because I teched, and again, I mean, he resets with the throw. I mean, I got a pretty scot free. But if that was someone else, I would have been corner carried to death. Because like, he's not good with frame trap converts. If that's someone else, frame trap convert, push the corner carry. I make a waste of an EX meter, but I basically get EX for EX. I mean, with this is kind of hard to predict because I thought he was going to just basically stay there and not EX dash straight, so I can't really fault myself for using a meter there, but I mean, I gotta be slightly more disciplined with my EX kunais. I wasted a resource. I wasted an EX and a resource, not knowing that he could still like bully his way in with EX. If I wanted to jump, I should have just neutral jump. Yeah, I should have just neutral jump because if I neutral jump right there, I would have gotten the EX dash straight. So, instead I do it for a EX kunai and I waste meter. Yeah, just small stuff like that. That is situations like that. I guess those are character specific, and you kind of want to be aware of them. I guess knowing when to use your EX kunai is a good part of a character, or knowing when to do that. Because you can just get in for free with EX dash straight. And I said it. I don't know if I said it. I said it in the previous recording, but that is one of my biggest issues with Street Fighter Five is moves like this can throw out. I guess EX. I know some people complain about like EX kunai, but EX kunai is good, but it's not like one of those things where like it's like 10 frames or 7 frames. Like it does provide good. I'm not gonna say it doesn't provide frame advantage. Like to lie and say it doesn't. I mean, especially when you know how to do it. I mean, it can be pretty difficult to deal with. But to go from like the but it's a completely different situation. Like because with EX Kunai, she has to jump, so you can kind of train yourself to react to her jumping. But this, like EX dash straight, look, there is no there's no jumping to that. Like you can't train yourself to do that. It just comes because it's 10 frames. 10 it's hold on, let me check my frame data. On the borrowed notes, it is 9 frames. So for someone to complain about EX Kunai, like and say, well, it does almost the same thing as this, that is completely different. Like that, that's just a complete tangent that I go off on. That is a 9 frame vertical move that covers this spacing compared to a move where you have to jump. Jumping her jump is about 45 frames. I don't know how fast it takes, but that is definitely more time to react to EX Kunai than to react to stuff like this in your EX tackle. So, like, to complain about, complaining about that, like, those aren't equivalents. Like, when you look at them, like, objectively, they aren't equivalents. They might provide the same thing, but overall, in the mechanics of the game, they aren't equivalent because the EX Kunai, you have a better chance of reacting than to reacting to a 9 frame dash trait in this spacing, and where you have to pretty much almost guess. That is not, and it provides plus frame advantage. So like no, I don't want to hear any of that. Like no, it's not. Okay, because I go for the EX kunai, I do get punished. But that's just my little tangent about that. I do get upset sometimes when people like, I'm not gonna say that my character isn't good. She's definitely really good, but when I see things like when I see people that obviously sometimes uh, that I feel like they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to the game, it really frustrates me because I'm not saying that I'm a genius and I know everything, but I don't see how someone can make the logical conclusion that like something like EX Kunai is almost as good as something like Borrow's dash rate that's 9 frames, and they're both R plus, but one of them you can kind of react to and the other one is almost dang near impossible to react to. But that's just me. I, I I'm not one to complain about the game, and it is what it is. And there are like sometimes you just have to in that range, and specifically in ranges like that. I had a better chance of reacting to it because, well, not reacting to it, but preemptively doing something about it because I was further away. But I chose to do EX Kunai because I thought he was going to like just be stationary, but I maybe kind of look at when Balrogs like to use EX dash rate, like after sometimes after with normals, and kind of pay attention to that. And so I won't waste situations like that because he punishes me with a light punch target combo. But I'm gonna write that down. Pay attention to when Balrogs like to use straight. So after a whiffed whiff sand hard punch, you can say in the that looks about character. I call it that definitely is about closer towards character starting position. So I don't know why I don't know why I got See, I'm trying to bulldog my way out. Yeah, I'm trying to bulldog my way in, like take my and say I was saying this earlier because of the EX dash rate so fast to run too, and I don't know if I said this before, but he can frame trap after and it's +1, and so it makes that kind of difficult to deal with. I go with the option to challenge, which in a sense is probably the best option. It would probably maybe the best stop because it looks like he's trying to go for a throw because that's what I felt he was going for a throw. But the danger in challenging sometimes uh, with 3 frames because I want to challenge with my fastest normal. But this is the danger because I have situations happen like this where I'm challenging clearly, but because the 3 frame is so quick, he's still able to still make not get hit by not get hit by 3 frames and still walk forward to be able to throw me. So if I feel like challenging think to win the challenge. I'm gonna write down successful challengings. I did write that down. I'm gonna this character specific. And I still get thrown for that. I mean, I do make a decision that I feel is kind of right, but I guess I just have to. I mean, it's a risk involved in everything in this game. So if I was already going to challenge, and if I already had it in my mind to challenge, I should have just hit stand medium punch or stand light kick. The thing about like Ibuki or other characters too that have this, if they like characters with standing three frames are at a slight disadvantage when it comes to situations like this, because because of the because they have to stand up and hit. Other characters like Chun Li or something, they can still block and still hit three frame. So if I'm going to do something like that, I guess I can still. I guess I could use just the crouching light punch instead. I mean, maybe do the slight block, crouching light punch, and then punish the walk forward and accordingly. But I can't practice situations like that because this is one of the biggest things that I hate about Street Fighter Five, not training mode specifically, is it doesn't give you the option, like when you're recording stuff, to set this player, your player one, to block. So you can't record things that I wish training modes would provide. I think Mortal Kombat does. Mortal Kombat 11 does, where you can set player one to actually block, and so you can test things out with player two, and then you can practice your punishes with that. I believe that is in MK11. I'm not too sure. I have the game, but I would have to test it out. It does have a really robust training mode, and uh, I I wish Street Fighter had that option because I can't test situations like this. And so I challenged right there because I was confident that he was going to go for a dash for a throw, which he does, and I get out of the situation. And so I start my pressure. I kind of back off right there. I jumped. There's kind of two reasons why I jumped, right? I saw him walking back, and the thing about this is sometimes is, and this is my fault. Well, it's not really my fault. Here I probably like dashing wouldn't have reached, and so I jump thinking that he wouldn't anti-air because of this right here. But that right there was an assumption that I don't think I should have made because, to be honest, like players aren't really like people say you have to think about all your options and all this. Players aren't thinking about all their options. I can tell you that because if he did, he would assault um, in the perfect world. In a perfect world, like in a very perfect world, this jump in would have been clean because he would have saw that I had this, and if I would have jumped in with that, it would have been plus, or his anti-air would have been B because it was at the spacing, and so I thought that he thought that I was going to EX Quinai, so I jumped, but that's on me for assuming something that isn't necessarily possibly true. That's all in a perfect world. In a perfect world, this situation would have worked out perfectly, but it's online. Sometimes, like the players aren't the most smartest, or they're not thinking about their options. Like they're not thinking about like what I can do, especially with the meter. Especially like if you see right here, I also have V trigger. I wonder when did I get V trigger? I want to go back and look at this. Okay, so after dash rate, I was trying to see if I had any opportunities to activate V trigger. I wanted to go back and like look at if there was any like when as soon as I get V trigger, if there was any moments that I could have used V trigger to get the burn the first activation in a pretty useful way without so I can start building towards the second activation. But there kind of wasn't. Because I kind of get in the corner. Okay, so yeah, like back to this. So yeah, I thought he was going to just do that. I mean, I shouldn't assume anything, but it causes me to get put in a mix-up situation because I tried to play this game, but like this game right here, but he wasn't having any of that, so he just normal anti-air. But yeah, that I challenge again. Okay, well I'm just gonna play this situation. So I'm gonna go back here. I do this sometimes. I'm gonna write this down. See, I was backdashing to reset the neutral, and with this, like with this right here, I let's go back, like with meter. Yeah, I don't think I should have backdashed because it led to this times. So I'm gonna write down times not to backdash. These are only when like with character specific, with characters that have like moves like this that I was complaining about earlier. Okay, I wasn't. I don't like to necessarily say it was complaining. I was just voicing my opinion on them. But they're in the game, and so to mitigate stuff like this, you have to do like to mitigate very stuff like this. You have to get very creative with your solution. And so the best thing I possibly could have did was just sit there and block, or maybe I could have neutral jump because it actually changes the frame advantage because he did block dash straight, or he did dash straight, and dash straight's about -4, and so it would have given me a little bit more of a leeway to react with a jump, but I obviously decide to go with the I decide to go with the backdash. And so I get punished because I tried to do that, and I do that a lot against characters because I try to reset neutral, and sometimes at a negative frame advantage. But I have to realize, knowing when to properly reset neutral. I'm just gonna write that down. Knowing when to properly reset neutral, and with backdash, with backdash, some timings not to do it. I'm just gonna write down some timings not to reset neutral, not to backdash. For me personally, what I see, this is just for me. Uh, so this is more character specific, and so things to check on. This is more character specific with Barok because there's few characters that do have something like this. Barok. So I'm not gonna put this in general things. I'm gonna probably put this more in the Barok notes. Thinking about that. When to backdash to reset neutral against this character. Uh, Frames Don't backdash if he has if he has meter. So yeah, that's more of a borrowed thing, and other characters who have that, but it's very few. So I get caught, and I I tried to with punish. I tried to not with punish. I tried to mash out, and I'm successful, but I go too far because I don't make sure it converts. I need to make sure that my make sure that I'm doing my make sure a Buki specific. This is a Buki specific. Make sure to confirm target combo. So that's something I definitely can practice on in the laning mode, training mode. Maybe do that for like um, 5 to 10 minutes. Not 5 to 10 minutes, but maybe like 20 minutes a day to make sure that like something like this doesn't happen again. That's a mechanical situation that can be fixed in training mode. So I XDP because like that was the only option. I mean that was an option that I had, but it was like, well, I wasted the V trigger, might as well get something out of it, and so I get knockdown situation. It's not a favorable knockdown situation, but it is a knockdown situation. Oh, see right there, I missed it right here. Oh yes, perfect. That was a very very good backdash, but because it was so good, I neutral jumped expecting a dash straight, but I backdash again to kind of reset the neutral after, because I see that we're kind of a little bit further away after the walk back, but I backdash and I have a clean backdash, and that clean backdash leads to that, and it doesn't lead to me with punching that. Like it was a pretty good situation. I kind of, but I don't capitalize and get my whiff punishing on that. So I need to make sure that like my whiff punish game is on point. And I lost right there. That is the difference in a. So if I'm already looking for this, like I wasn't really looking for it. I was really looking to reset the neutral. But when looking to reset the neutral, I'm gonna write this down. When resetting the neutral for whiff punish opportunities, uh, I wrote down some whiff punish opportunities. Where they defensive. When resetting neutral with backdash, look to whiff punish. So I mean, because I should have been expecting the like, you just expect things like that, because Bison's like to do like EX cycle, or like cycle. I like to do EX scissors kick, and providing that I'm in the spaces and I do stuff like backdash like that, it opens up with punish opportunities. So stuff like that, I need to be aware of, and I need to like put that in my cognitive memory to be able to know that I need and so yeah, negative frames. I try to backdash, and he catches me with a low. So yeah, backdashing after negative frames against this character is not a good idea. But backdashing in neutral seems to work. But yeah, I think I wrote that down. Don't backdash if yes, yeah. I need to remember that. I'm right now.
Balrog wins.
So yeah, that's that matchup. So okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do this matchup, this one, and this is gonna be my last one for. So I'm gonna do this one right here, and this is gonna be my last one. This one I'm gonna probably kind of speed through a little bit. I wanted to get through all three of them, but on my own time, I'm probably gonna do the third one, and I think I do have some more sets. I do have some more sets that I need to analyze between me and him. I think there are some. I did get ones where I did win, and I kind of want to see what I did in them. I know there were some things where I still could do better in my wins, but I'm gonna finish it up with this one. But I won't be pausing and doing has too many things because I gotta get ready to go, and I want to get through this one as fast as possible.
Fight!
So right off the bat, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, I guess I can write down like when to like look out for overheads. So like timings, Balrogs, because he just walks forward and just doesn't. I mean, that's just one of those situations where it's just like you have to be like really ready for it. That's just something that you just have to be ready for. I mean, not like really ready for it. That's like I don't know what to say to that. Like I just got hit by that. I mean, it's one of those situations where the round start happens and you're not expecting something like that, and and I get caught by it. I mean, that's good on him. I mean, because quite frankly, like I don't think anybody would. I mean, it's kind of difficult to be ready for something like that in this situation, but now that I know it's an option, I gotta be more wary and looking out for that. See, I try to mash out with my three frame because I get hit with the stand roundhouse, and it's like, actually, yeah, this shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have. Wait, what? Oh no, he does dash for it. Oh yeah, that's definitely plus. That is like plus a bunch. What is it? Light kick low? I think I did write it down, but I want to go back and check kick low. Medium kick low dash forward. I did write that down in my notes. And I quick tech that. Medium kick low, dash forward. I do want to go back and kind of test these things out and get the proper frame advantage for it. So yeah. See, that's this is a Street Fighter Five thing, but I do think I have a counter to this salute to that situation. And that's gonna revolve me like maybe holding down forward or down back a little bit, and then holding up forward to do a delay up forward tech. But I don't like situations like that. It's not going to be fixed anytime soon, but I don't believe characters should be like -1 or -2 after a dash. I think they should be, me personally, I think they should be negative. But I personally, and thinking about like what my options are in a situation like that, I think I'm just going to hold down back and then do up forward or down back and maybe like back dash or something. I don't know. Like something like, I mean, I have to come up with like something like really goofy or just no and just challenge with the three frame. I have to commit to something. But I do have options that I'm gonna probably explore in situations like that. and that gets started because I get caught with an overhead at the beginning of the round, and so it gets a start to the momentum. I don't know if I would have been able to even like, I mean, unless I'm like ready was ready for that. I just don't think I did anything wrong in that situation. It was just for a better play by my opponent that allows him to get his momentum started. So I don't fault myself there. It was just the way the sequence started. I don't fault myself, but I do feel that maybe I could have been a little bit ready for that, but I don't think anybody else would have been ready for that. It's just that's just one of those things where you just look at it and just say GG. You just gotta say like GG, man, because that wasn't like it's one of those things where it's like that was a pretty much a heck of a read by on his part, and it allowed him to get his offense started. See, I, I what happened was I think I walked forward after the first one. Okay, so I blocked this one. Okay, no, I don't walk forward, but I do take a slight step back, and so I do some type of movement. So he expects me to go forward, and I was actually thinking about it. Like in that situation, I was actually trying to bait him into pressing a button, and it worked. Like when I was in the miss when and like when I was in this situation, like putting myself in a situation, like when I was playing these games, I actually wanted him to do like something, and so I wanted him to do something. I got the reaction that I wanted, but I didn't capitalize on it. So like my whip punch game, like after negative frames, because I do this a lot. You can kind of wait and just see what the opponent likes to do. I mean, because you kind of you can bait your opponent. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like stop this for now, just so I have this. But my computer kind of flashed, and I think it might be my video card that's kind of going a little bit wonky. And so I'm just gonna stop this recording right now. I'm gonna write this last thing down. So I'm gonna say baiting opponents into whiffing normals after taking a walking after negative normals. Uh, so I don't know what's going on with my PC. I do believe it is my video card that's causing me issues like that, and I might have to get a new video card for my PC, or I might just have to get rid of it and get a new PC. But that's gonna conclude. I'm not gonna go through it fully because you can see it kind of got messed up. But uh, I, I'm not gonna fully go through the rest of the matches, the rest of this right now. I do want to record it and try to break it down a little bit further, but I'm not gonna go through it anymore, especially with my computer acting like that. So that's gonna be the end for this matchup analysis. But I hope to do more of these. Well, I'm gonna do more of them again, but I think I'm gonna kind of try to break them down into like different parts. So I'm gonna record like one. I'm gonna watch it through record it, and then break down that one match, and then I'm just gonna record them separately, and then I'm just gonna put them all together in one video. But so I won't so if I do have an issue with my video card acting up again, I do still have the other ones that are saved. But this one was more of a longer one, and so this is something that I definitely would like to do more, because it's mostly for me to train and to get better as a Street Fighter player. But with that being said, uh, I am through with this recording for now. So, guys, remember the greatest commandments of them all. Love the Lord God with all your heart, and love the neighbor yourself. So take care, and I'll see you guys in another video.